Welcome back to episode 67 of the ATD Baseball Podcast, AL Central. Uh, yep,
Hey,
this is the one that we've all been waiting to do.
Oh yeah. But
Before we get to that, we do have some housekeeping things that we have to take care of. But before we do that, we got a full house today. Myself, Kyle, and Matt. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great today. Like we said, some stuff to get into. Zack Wheeler being one of those things. Phillies lock him up,
That's
3-year
legend.
extension. Yes, but converted to Phillies legend. He'll be remembered as a Philly, not a Met. Quote me on that. Um, so yeah, I'm doing great today. Talk a little Matt Chapman here too in a minute, but Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We are in the full swing of spring training. It's great to see. Um, gonna, I always have to do this every episode. I gotta put my Yankee shit into this a little bit. Juan Soto, come on. I gotta mention it. Looks great. Him and Judge going back to back. It's like a Yankee fan dream. I can't wait. Other than that, we're doing fantastic.
Uh, Speaking of Yankee Land, I saw Garrett Cole is not too happy with Daniel Vogelback pimping one off of him in spring training. I saw that live. That was actually very entertaining.
Listen, let the guy have his fun. I get it. It's probably not gonna happen again. So it's
Okay.
okay. It's all good.
I'm doing good. Kyle does his Yankee thing. I do my Dodgers thing. I watched Betts, Otani, and Freeman all get hits back to back yesterday. That was fantastic. Uh, Starting to come together. You're starting to see it. We're in this phase right now where you're not, you don't have to dream about it anymore. You're seeing it in real time, and it's glorious.
The Death Star
That's it.
starting to come together. It's just
Yes.
started. The Death Star is just starting to come together. It wasn't
Yeah. Well, we're
takes
not
so
in a
much work
rush
to
to.
put those superstars. Yeah, three of the league's best players. So much work for them to gel together perfectly, man.
Yeah, we're not in a rush to figure it out. We're in the. Let's figure out what we got here first. We're in it for 162 and beyond. We're not in it for March.
Well, I don't know. Some Dodgers fans might have been that first day Otani was in the lineup.
Yeah,
Season was dead there for a second, right, Mello?
yeah, and I was one of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, I knew it. Getting my hopes up again. We'll see you next year. Then he hits a home run. Everything's all good again. He's hitting over 700 in spring training, by the way. I know that doesn't mean anything because half of the pitchers are not. They're double A and they're triple A pitchers. But like 700 is not nothing.
Oh
No.
boy.
Oh yeah. I think some Phillies AAA was, hitting 1,000 for a couple games there, but I wasn't getting too psyched up about it. So I have no idea. I was just making that up. But anyway, I'm gonna start with Matt Chapman here.
Con artist. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt
Matt
Chapman.
Chapman. Yeah.
Uh, Shame on me for not having the contract in front of me. But we posted it a couple of days ago, so let me pull that up for you right now.
Signed with the San Francisco Giants. I can tell you that much. Couple opt outs in there as well, which just seems to be the new Scott Boras way. If you can't lock them up for 15 years, you'll try again in another year or two because that's the Scott Boras way. All Scott Boras agents find their way back to free agency either a couple times after some opt outs or they get their bag all at one time and they'll retire after their 15-year contract is up. But who knows? Mello, what are those contract details looking like?
yeah, so we didn't post it, but
Oh,
Matt Chapman. I know. I just realized we didn't post it. Matt Chapman signed a 3-year, $54 million contract with the San Francisco Giants.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
yeah. Um, as the offseason was going on, you heard Chapman to the Giants a lot. So it almost felt like it to a point where it was like it would have been more shocking if it didn't happen. But you mentioned it. That's the Scott Boras contract right now in 2024. Not 10, 15 years. It's a short-term deal with a lot of opt-outs. And I've seen everybody on social media in the baseball community saying that, Scott Boras is washed and Scott Boras is finally catching up to him in 2024. I don't think so. I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that. It's like even when you think Scott Boras is losing, he's winning. He's getting something. He didn't get the high he didn't get the high number in years or in money, but he continues to put pressure on these front offices with the opt outs every year. You saw that with the Bellinger contract, and you're seeing that now with the Chapman contract. If either one of those guys or both of them have a big monster year, they're gonna opt out of that contract. I know Bellinger's supposed to make 30 million for the next 2 years, but if he has another monster year, and if Chapman has a monster year this year, they're gonna opt out and they're gonna test the market again, and they can easily double that. And Scott Boras again, putting pressure on the Giants, putting pressure on the Cubs that if my client performs like he should this season, he's going to go somewhere else or you're going to have to penny up. So that's the way I see it. For the Giants, it makes sense. It makes sense. Is it you know, the big star that they wanted this offseason? No, but Chapman can still play. He's a good baseball player. And Giants spend their money this offseason. And I give them credit.
You hit it perfectly right there. They didn't get the guy. It's been a couple off seasons now. They missed on the guy, but they bounced back. They've had a solid off season, honestly, and
Yep.
my grade for them is ticking up because of this Matt Chapman move. It's gonna be increasing, and it was sort of the piece, like you said. They were looking at him all season. Everybody was rumoring Matt Chapman makes sense to go to the Giants, and boom, there it is. We were waiting on it to happen. If they wouldn't have done it, it would have been a huge disappointment, I think, because Chapman, listen, got off to a great offensive start in 2023. That first month, he was on fire. And after that, sort of fell into a slump. But you're getting the defense, and that's huge. He could get paid for his defense alone, pretty much. He could be the Kevin Kiermaier of infielders, of third baseman right there. And then he's going to continue you're rolling the dice a little bit on offense, but he's proven it in the past before. It's not like he's never had a good offensive season. He's had plenty of good offensive seasons in the past. I think it's a great move for the Giants. Very smart. Blue Jays would have been missing him more if they didn't add Justin Turner, I think, in there and make some other moves. But somebody else brought this up. I think he had an extension offer from the Blue Jays for $100 million sometime, either last season, end of last season, or in this offseason. He received a deal from the Blue Jays for $100 million, and now looking back at it, maybe he should have taken that. But we'll see how it pans out for him. Great move for the Giants. Love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to reiterate exactly what you guys said. Great move for the Giants. It makes a whole lot of sense. Locks down their infield a little bit better. And just to yet again say this, I mean, the Giants had a phenomenal offseason. I love what they brought in. I love what they've done. I want to kind of focus on what you closed with on your statement there. Matt Chapman, I would be pissed as hell if I was him, because a couple years back when he was in Oakland, he turned down a $150 million contract. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was 10 years. Now, I understand you might not want that longevity in Oakland with that, kind of price, price tag. But Matt, you kind of hit it right there. I mean, he turned down this huge contract from the Blue Jays. You're one of the best defensive third basemen in the league, and your bat still provides a ton of pop. you're not a terrible ball player by any means. And you kind of trusted in your agent. And now you kind of have to go to San Francisco for a year, prove that you can still pick it over there at third base and put up a solid year with the bat to kind of get that contract that you were offered not once, but twice. That's the way I look at it. So, love the deal for the Giants. But if I was Matt Chapman, oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be really pissed.
So maybe you'd like the overall offensive numbers to be up a little bit. Career 240 batting average, 329 on base, 461 slugging, brings him to a 790 OPS. So yeah, those numbers could be a little bit better, but home runs mean a lot in today's game. Topped out at 36 in his career in 2019 with Oakland. Now that may have been a juice ball year, but in 2021, 2022, 27 home runs each.
That's nothing to shy away from.
Plus a gold glove in 2021, 2023, a gold glove as well.
And easily could win the platinum glove any given year.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think this is great for the Giants. And maybe he opts out and then you can bring him back again. We'll see how it works. But yeah, love the Giants locking him down. I think this is a great move for them.
And those fans in San Francisco, they're gonna rally around him. They're gonna rally around him too. I know Giants and Dodger fans, we have our differences, but San Francisco, it's a good place to play. And the fans, if you choose to come to San Francisco, they will rally around you. And maybe that's what he needs. Maybe the pressure of trying to win in Toronto kind of got to him a little bit. Come to San Francisco, fans are going to rally around him. And I think he's going to feed off of that.
Absolutely. Now, next little move here. Maybe I'm a little more excited to talk about, honestly.
Surprised we didn't do this first.
Wow. Got to go chronological order here. Mellows was up at 6 a.m. this morning, sending this into our group chat, breaking the news to us, because Buster Only was putting it out there. Wasn't that like 6 a.m. for you? Right,
yeah,
Mello?
what can I say? Yeah, what can I say? You know,
Yeah.
I'm always on standby 24 hours a day. What can I say?
Early bird. Zack Wheeler signs an extension with my Phillies. They were in talks for a decent little while, and then eventually got the extension done. And this is exactly what the Phillies needed to do. You decided to not sign a huge free agent this year, other than bringing back Aaron Nola, which, yeah, in its own right is big, but at the same time, it doesn't have that appeal to the fans or to the rest of the team because it's sort of, hey, this guy was with us. Of course, we need to bring him back. But yeah, a 3-year, 126 deal, 126 million deal, which we talked about this off air a little bit. High AAV there for Zack Wheeler, but I'll just keep going off of what I said. You locked up your two aces now. The Phillies don't have a lot of holes in this team, honestly. And locking up Wheeler so that he's not going to even get to taste free agency next year is huge in my book because you never know how those things can go. I had my panic moment this year with Aaron Nola when he reached free agency. Was he going to go to the Cardinals? Could have been the Braves. They were snooping around in there too. Obviously, he ended up staying with the Phillies, but now there's no shadow of any doubt because you extended him. Huge for the Phillies. Glad they're still out here spending because they do have a pretty high payroll, but I'm all in favor of it. This was a huge move for the Phillies. Love it.
Needed to happen. And you lock down, and you have arguably the best 1-2 punch in the sport in terms of starting pitchers. Good move for the Phillies. Not wasting any time, getting this done before opening day, which you see a lot of players that after opening day, they're not talking about contract extensions or anything. They wait till free agency or they wait till the end of the season. Shout out to the Phillies and Wheeler for not messing around, getting this done before opening day. Yeah, you hit it. This Phillies team's going to be really good this year. And it's amazing how much pull a fan base can have. Because you heard it with Wheeler today. He's like, he loves pitching at the bank in front of all those fans.
Yes,
And I know
sir.
Matt loved to hear that. He's like, oh, yes,
sir.
fantastic. So fans bringing the energy every night, and especially in the postseason, played a huge part of both Wheeler and Nola re-signing with the Phillies. I don't want that to go unnoticed.
Yeah. He didn't say he loved pitching in Citi Field.
They were under a different ownership at the time, Matt.
True.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, we've been hearing all off season long that both these sides wanted to get something done, and for the Phillies' sake and their fan base and everything in between, I mean, it needed to happen. I figured it was gonna happen no matter what. This just seemed like a match made in heaven. Even if they didn't reach an agreement before the season, and Wheeler would have said, all talks are off, they still would have found their way back to each other. That's just it has that kind of relationship to it. Makes a ton of sense. I mean, Wheeler and Nola are both workhorses. These guys will give you their starts every single year. And with Wheeler kind of taking over, I mean, Wheeler and Nola it's like 1A, 1B with aces. I mean, these that means a lot. So now it gives them more flexibility in the rotation. You have a very nice number 3. I'm a huge fan of Ranger Suarez.
Yes,
I
sir.
love what I've seen out of him all season. And he's kind of blossomed into a very nice pitcher. Now it's almost like you don't feel as bad going into the season with Taijuan Walker in your rotation because you know that you have
Another
these
Mets
two
legend.
workhorses at the front, followed by Ranger Suarez, and I believe Christopher Sanchez. Is he in that mix?
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
at this point, yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't make you feel. If I was a Phillies fan, I wouldn't feel as bad as those two lower-ended guys in my rotation, just because I know I'm gonna get every single start out of Wheeler and Nola. Every 5 days, those guys are penciled in no matter what. That means a lot. And now they have the flexibility with the rotation. They can kind of focus on everything that they have to get ready for the season. And both these guys are huge leaders in this clubhouse. I think that means a lot to the younger guys coming up. I know the Phillies' top prospects, all pitchers. I believe McAble's in there, McGarry, and Painter when he comes back from TJ. That means a lot. You're going to have Wheeler here for the next 4 years. You're going to have Nola here for the next 6. Having those guys down there in Reading and Lehigh, I mean, come on, spring training, you can learn off these guys. And that's what you want. I'm huge on Painter. I don't know. It makes a whole lot of sense, and I'm glad that both sides got this done.
Yes. One thing on Wheeler. For some reason, I always forget that he is bald. Like, he is bald. I don't know why, but I always forget it. It strikes me whenever he's doing, like, these put together. Yeah, he always has a hat on. Whenever he's doing these media conferences, and there he is taking the picture with Dave Dombrowski at the media day and announcing that he signed the extension. There he is, bald. And I'm like, that's
Like
right. He is bald. Random note. Just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and this has been kind of the theme ever since the Phillies got back in the postseason of 2022. It's you don't want to face Wheeler and Nola in a short series. Go ask the Marlins, go ask the Braves, go ask the Padres. Don't want to see those two in a short 3-game or 5-game series because they're going to both pitch in a division series. You're going to have Wheeler and Nola go twice and that's scary for the opponent. Would hate to see that if the Dodgers and Phillies met up in a championship series. No, thank you.
We need to see that. We need to see that. Now,
I'm down for
Dodgers 1-2 wouldn't be very bad either. So I would want to see
James
that.
Paxton.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know about that.
Maybe like 6 years ago.
Yep. Love this for the Phillies. Glad they're being aggressive and continuing to be aggressive and going out there and getting these deals done. But all right, AL Central time. I know the
Oh,
moment you've all been waiting for. Can't wait to talk about the everybody 500, but the division winning team is like 5 games above 500. You know, that's probably what it's going to be about. Like, and the White Sox and dead last, winning 60 something games probably.
yeah,
But
and I mentioned this before we started recording. The winner, I feel bad for this division winner because whoever wins this division, you get the loser of the American League East in a 3-game playoff series, which that's either going to be, I mean, according to our standings, it's either going to be the Yankees or the Orioles. So, God
Good
bless the
luck.
winner of this division.
so we'll probably start at the bottom like we have been recently. So the White Sox, Mello, what moves have the White Sox made this offseason?
Uh, Not much. They traded from Max Stassi from Atlanta. They signed Martin Maldonado to a 1-year deal, and they signed Kevin Pillar and Mike Moustakas to minor league deals, which Mike
Moustakas
Moustakas
retired
deserves.
then. He ended up retiring before
That's
even
true. Yeah,
playing with them. So
yeah.
They also had that the trade with the Braves. Hmm,
yes,
Nicky Lopez and Mike Soroka.
yeah.
Um,
For Bummer, Aaron Bummer was the
yes.
relief pitcher that the White Sox sent.
Yep. Maldonado, they brought him in.
Yep, and lost Tim Anderson in free agency, which
Loss or addition?
well didn't seem like the White Sox were interested in keeping him around necessarily. But
Neither were the
for what it's
Marlins
worth,
either.
for what it's worth, they didn't bring him back this year. But yeah, other than that, not not
They're
too much
being
happened.
completely unreasonable with Dylan Cease,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Yeah, White Sox are kind of a mess again, and at least this year I feel confident in saying they can be that bad again, and they probably will be that bad again. Because last year it was some of us were on the train of they can't be that bad again, like they can't do this all over again, and they did.
I
So
had him winning the division.
yeah, exactly. They were some of our World Series picks just 2 or 3
2 years
years
ago.
ago. Yeah,
Yikes.
yes, and look where they're at now, projected to be last in their own division. All the names are sort of making their way out. I mean, Luis Roberts still there. Dylan Cease is still there for now. We'll see what happens to them as the season goes on. If anybody's trade bait, because Dylan Cease's name was definitely floating around quite a bit in the trade deadline and then even during the offseason as well. And obviously, no deal happened, but we'll see what happens. Liam Hendricks, also worth noting, he is out of the White Sox too. So over under, I believe, is set at 63.5.
That is correct.
Uh, I don't know.
Under.
There you go. Mello starts with an under. 63s. Well, literally, do they win or 100, or do they lose 100 games or not? And to me, yeah, they lose 100 games. So I guess give me the under on this team too.
Yeah, I have two really quick statements about this team. Number one, please lower your asking price for Dylan Cease. You are not getting Spencer Jones. It's
Thank
not
you.
going to happen. Second, this team is ass, and I'm taking the under.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. I don't understand why this White Sox front office is. If you're gonna tank, and reset 100%,
Agreed.
it's like you're like still holding out hope, and the boat's already like it's underwater already. All it's just waiting for you to go under. It's like what do we just rip the Band-Aid off and start over? you still
It
have
doesn't
valuable pieces on this team, and you can get valuable prospects for.
it doesn't pay to be a 74 win team or a 68, 69 win team when you're not the worst team in the league or one of the bottom three. It just doesn't pay. You need to trade your prospects, keep drafting in the top three, top five, and eventually you'll build your way back up. But
Yep.
what we've learned from some of these teams in the past, in different sports as well, it doesn't pay to be a 23rd worst team in the league, 24th, 25th for back to back to back seasons now. You got to be bad in order to keep the cycle going here, to get the full on reset. So trade away some of these pieces, get some great prospects in return, build up your farm system, and you'll be back soon. There it is. Plan drew out perfectly for the White Sox right there.
And you're not even the most popular team in the city. Nobody's paying attention to the White Sox in Chicago anyways.
Really,
You had that for one season, and that's all it was.
Yeah. White Sox fans, try not to get shot at your stadium this year.
Whoa,
That is a
whoa,
serious.
whoa.
That is a serious thing.
boy.
Somebody did get shot at the stadium last year.
You know, Matt, the election is coming up this November. You can change that.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Just be careful in Chicago. I'll mention that too. If you're going to Chicago,
I
or
went
you
there. I
live in
had no
Chicago.
issues.
Yeah, well, Mello, we all know Chicago was scared of you, not the other way around.
Yes,
Okay.
that is absolutely right.
Mello's seen
I-
Compton. He's not worried about Chicago.
Yes, city of Compton. Yes.
All right. Second worst team in the AL Central,
Depends
at
on who
least
you
by
ask.
the over-under. Yeah, it does depend who you ask, because it can get a little muddy from here. This is going off of the Bet MGM's over-under win totals for the team. So we're going to start, or keep moving up with the Royals, who are set at 73.5.
And that was the
Mello,
next
the
team I
Royals-
had on my list.
Royals did quite a lot this offseason. Tell us what they did.
Yes, they did. They locked down their future star, if not star already, Bobby Witt Jr., to an 11-year, $288.7 million extension, which that's the way these contracts are going. That's kind of a steal for the Royals.
Yes, it is.
Traded for Nick Anderson from Atlanta. Seems like I've seen, when I've been filling these out, Atlanta's been involved in a lot of trades and stuff. I've noticed that. They signed Will Smith, the relief pitcher, the left-handed relief pitcher, not the Dodgers Will Smith, to a one-year deal. They signed Michael Walker to a one-year deal. They signed Hunter Renfroe, and they signed Austin Nola to a one-year deal. They've made some moves. And I gave them props from the beginning. Finally, and we'll get to the Tigers too in a couple minutes here, but the Royals were one of these teams this offseason that woke up out of bed one morning and they're like, wait a minute, we play in the American League Central. If we spend a little bit of cash, we could win this damn division. Are you kidding me? After they were horrible for a couple years there. I had them as one of my off-season winners when we did that a couple months ago, because this division is very winnable. And I like what the Royals did. They're spending money and they're investing in this team. So, like I said, we'll see where they stack up in terms of division standings, but very impressed, and I loved what the Royals did this offseason.
Absolutely. I think I gave them an A for their offseason grade. I don't remember, but I think so because
Yeah, you did.
okay,
Same
because
grade as my Yankees for some reason, but that's a conversation for another day.
well, okay, come on now.
I give the Royals an A-.
There you go. They were aggressive, and sure, they didn't sign a superstar or anything, but they still managed to improve quite a bit with the players that they did add, and Seth Lugo as well, who had coming off a nice season from by the Padres. when you're looking at their lineup, sure, names don't pop at you the way they do with some other teams. MJ Melendez, Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino coming back from injury last season. Early in the year, he got injured. So that's going to be big. Hunter Renfroe, Michael Massey, Nelson Velasquez, Kyle Isbell, and Michael Garcia. So, again, like I said, not superstar studded, that's for sure. But some names that are gonna put up solid seasons that you're not necessarily penning them in for. And Cole Reagans had a breakout year last year, especially in the second half of the season, and he's going to be your ace for this year. I'm not going to say he's going to get Cy Young votes, but he's going to be an all-star this year. There's no doubt in my mind. Cole Reagans, he should be an all-star. The Royals' one all-star will probably be Bobby Witt Jr., but if they get a second one, Cole Reagans should have a legitimate case. Again, this is kind of tough about where they go in the standings wise, and we'll get into over-unders in a second. I guess I have time to think about it while Kyle gives his thoughts on the Royals.
Well, you don't have too much time. There's not much for me to say about this team. This team is very exciting, very young, very exciting. They got a whole lot better this offseason. Locking up Bobby Witt Jr. was huge, absolutely huge. I love the move, love to see them spending money. And I think all of the moves that they have made, a lot of veterans are coming into this club. A good mix of veterans with young players. I mean, I'm kind of just going to double down on what I'm saying about the Royals with a team that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, which is the Tigers. For me, this is very easy. I'll get it started. I'm going over with the Royals.
All right. That is over for the Royals, and they're 78?
73 and a half.
73 and a half. Okay.
Speaking of vets, you still got the guy who's been there this whole time, Salvador Perez.
Yes.
Still around.
Yeah. Give me the over. Absolutely. Over 73 and a half for the Royals.
Same here.
78.
This is one of the easy ones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Over.
Agreed.
I don't think these teams are looking at over-unders before they start the season, but if I saw my team was 73, that'd be a slap in the face, personally.
It's a joke. It's a joke, honestly. It really is.
You want some free money? Put the over on the Royals this season.
There you go.
Win totals, by the way.
Yes.
Make that clear.
Not over under on the Royals run total every night necessarily.
Yeah, that might be he might have pitched the hell out of them.
Just laying that out there.
Moving on up. You could go one of two ways with this. Now, I don't know which way Mello listed his moves, but on the over-unders, the Guardians are next in line, 79 and a half wins for the season.
I have the Guardians on that list.
Perfect. Mello knows what he's doing. Guardians didn't do anything.
No, they have a new manager. Yes. Stephen Voigt. Happy retirement. Why am I blanking on his name all of a sudden? Terry Francona. Why am I blanking? Yeah. Happy retirement. Yes. And they signed Carlos Carrasco to a minor league deal. That's what I have. Unless you guys have something else.
No, I think that's all.
I don't really think so.
They're getting upgrades on their stadium. That's pretty cool.
They need to be making upgrades on that roster because Jose Ramirez needs some help. So does Shane Bieber.
I mean, the Guardians too. If they're not gonna build off of this roster, what's the hesitation on trying to get some prospects for Shane Bieber?
Yeah,
that's the big market team in me.
They also added Estevan Florial. Can't forget
Okay.
about that.
Lineups, not
Love the
bad.
rotation.
Yeah, the rotation's nice. Steven Kwan, Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, Ramon Laureano, who they brought in at the end of the season last year, Bo Naylor, Kyle Manzardo, who was traded last year for Aaron Savali, Brian Rocchio at shortstop, prospect coming up through there, Miles Straw rounding it out in the outfield there. And the rotation, like we said, nice. Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, Tanner Bybee, Logan Allen, Gavin Williams. All of those guys have the potential to drop a nice little gem on you last year. I mean, we saw even Gavin Williams, Logan Allen, Tanner Bybee did it pretty frequently last year. McKenzie got injured last year and didn't get to see a lot of him, but he's shown that he can do some damage in the past. And Shane Bieber, we all know what he's capable of. So either you got to pick a way here. Either you're gonna need to deal somebody, or try and be good and bring in some people. I don't know, because sort of depends on what the other two AL Central teams look like as well, I guess. I don't know. Do you want to deal Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase, or do you want to hold on to them and add some guys, like I said? I'm not sure.
To me, the Guardians are one of those teams this year. They better get off to a good start. Because if you don't get off to a good start, you're going to hear a lot of rumblings about Emmanuel Clase. What can we get? Could we get him? Shane Bieber, another one. Could we trade for him? So for me, it's very important that this team gets off to somewhat a decent start. Because if not, you're going to hear rumblings of tearing this thing down. And of course, that just adds more pressure on the team. But yeah, they got to pick a direction here. Guardians are in the middle. Are we going to compete, or are we going to start over? And they have to figure that out this season.
Yeah, and see, when we first started these over unders and started doing divisions and things like that, I said to myself that the Guardians were going to be one of the hardest teams to judge. And as a whole, the division is. I love their top four in the lineup. I love their pitching staff, and I love Emmanuel Clase closing out games. But the problem is, this team underperformed so much last year, and they didn't make no additions. So it's hard for me to get on that bandwagon of saying, the Guardians are going to have a bounce back year. It's very tough. This is by far one of the hardest over unders for myself to do. But I'm going to go with gut instinct. My intuition tells me that it's going to be the under. That's what I'm taking.
Okay. See, for me, they've got to be a 500 team. Give me the over on the Guardians this year. This could be the difference whether you take the opposite on the Tigers here, pretty much. Is this is a telltale sign of how you feel about the Tigers?
Taking the under. They just miss it. Kind of part of this too for me. A part of this for me too is that I'm kind of buying into what the Royals are doing.
Me too.
Yeah, so I think they flip.
Okay. All right. Well, then there's two. So the Detroit Tigers, next up in line, 81.5 wins. Yeah, what did the Motor City Kitties, what did they do?
Wow.
Never heard that before? Never heard that
before? I've never heard that one before.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
There you go. These guys aren't true baseball fans. Never heard Motor City Kitties before.
You like playing with kitties, Matt? You like playing with kitties?
Mello, what do the Tigers do this offseason?
Oh, I'm quick with it, aren't I? Heard that before too. Tigers. AJ Hinch got a contract extension. Yay.
For how much? Oh wait, that's right. We don't know because
Yeah, we don't know.
it was private. It was a closed door.
Yeah. They traded for Mark Canha from Milwaukee. Kenta Maeda got a 2-year deal. They signed Jack Flaherty. They're going to give him a shot. Andrew
Yeah.
Chafin. And they signed Gio Urshela, Yankees legend. It's a 1-year contract.
Damn right it is.
Kyle's the reason for watching Tigers baseball this season.
Yes, 100%.
Old friend Gio. Now listen. In my eyes, this starts with one guy, Javier Baez.
Ooh.
What kind of season are you getting from Javier Baez this year? Are you getting any glimpse of Cubs Javier Baez or even Mets Javier Baez? Or are you going to get what we've seen so far from the Tigers Javier Baez? Their lineup, Parker Meadows had a nice little end to the season last year. Riley Green, if he can stay healthy, is going to be huge for this team. Same with Spencer Torkelson. Kerry Carpenter, underrated, had a very nice season last year. Mark Canha, like Mello mentioned. Colt Keith, a prospect that they've had coming up. Fun little name there. Javier Baez, Gio Urshela, and Jake Rogers, the projected starting lineup there. With interchangeable pieces, Matt Vierling, Zack McKinstry as well coming up through. Andy Ibanez and Carson Kelly on the bench. The rotation, I think, is going to be either pretty good or pretty bad. Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Kenta Maeda, Matt Manning, and Reese Olson. Nice little lineup there. Nice little rotation. I think it relies a decent bit on health. Some of these guys, Riley Green, can he stay healthy this year? He was huge for them last year. Spencer Torkelson had a great second half to the season. Really built on what he was supposed to be, starting to reach that potential. But again, what kind of Javier Baez are we getting? I think that matters. Is he having a crappy attitude like he did last year? Is he paying attention in the games? Because listen, from a fan's perspective, it sort of seemed like he wasn't paying attention in the games last year. Even it was kind of brutal to watch.
Collecting the check.
And I'm not sure where I'm at with this Tigers team yet. They have potential, but can they put it all together?
Yeah, I don't know. This is that 81.5, the over under. That's a good number. Basically saying, are they going to be above or below 500 this season? I don't know. They're definitely building for the future. And they're still, they have a good foundation. And, for a couple of years there, it was like, all right, what are the Tigers doing? Now it seems like they've kind of, they have a blueprint. I don't know. I don't know the over-under.
Kyle, what are your thoughts on the Tigers at least?
Oh man. Like I said, they have a good foundation. I like their rotation. I do like it. But it can go south very easily. Same as this lineup. The bullpen doesn't have too many big pieces to it. I mean, Andrew Chafin kind of is the one that sticks out the most. Yeah. I really don't know. This 81.5 is a very good number. Oh man, this is tough. If I had to just okay, I've been going with my gut, so I'm gonna do what my gut tells me. And I think they win over 80 games. 80, 81. I think that's their number. So for me
Ooh.
personally, I'm taking the under here.
Okay. That's
Very tough. Very tough to do though.
That's kind of where I'm at. I would even eke down into the 78, 79 range. But give me the under for the Tigers this year. build up that
No.
rotation a little bit more. That'd be my advice, because I'm still a little weary on that rotation. Still not sure about some of those names. Jack Flaherty did not have a good year last year.
No, but I think Scooball, Manning, I think they have high upsides.
They do.
I really do. And I like what, and listen, we forget that Casey Mize is still in this
He's
little thing here,
somewhere in the Tigers.
dealing with a lot of injuries. But listen, this was one of the highly touted prospects all across baseball.
Yeah.
I still believe we can get something out of Casey Mize. So like I said, I like the foundation, but 81.5 is a good number. And for me, I don't like going underneath because I like this Tigers team, but I just don't feel like they're there yet. Mello, I was gonna say, it looks like you really want to take this over.
I do. I do. I really want to take this over. And I don't know if you guys have picked up on this yet, but to me, managers mean something to me. Listen, I know AJ Hinch is a cheater, but he's still a very good manager. Uh,
He is.
he's still a very good manager. And even though this is a team kind of for the future for the next 2-3 seasons, he's going to keep this team from completely sinking and falling off the diving board. Um, I'm going to go under. They just miss it.
Ooh.
80
Lord
and
has-
82. I think this
Yeah.
is an 80-82 team.
Okay. People are not going to be happy we all took the under, because,
Yeah.
like we said, there are some people who are high on the Tigers this year, taking them to win the division this year. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure about
They
that.
can still finish in second.
Yeah. 80 wins could be good enough to get second place in the division. We'll see. That leaves us with the last team, the Minnesota Twins.
Twins.
Over under set at 86 and a
I
half.
hate that number. Oh, I hate it for the Twins.
That feels like a 96 to me personally.
What'd they do this offseason, Mello?
They lost Sonny Gray, which that was a huge hit. But I mean, let's be real, they probably weren't gonna bring him back anyways.
No.
Signed Carlos Santana to a 1-year deal. Somehow this guy is still finding his
AL
way
Central.
around. The
AL Central legend.
Yes. They traded for Anthony DiStefani for Jorge Polanco, which was kind of a hit there. Then they traded for Manuel Margot. Dodgers legend.
Didn't really do too much this offseason, but I'm pretty sure their front office was open coming into the offseason saying they were going to try and shed payroll, which, I mean, hey,
Yep.
No fan wants to hear that, but at least I guess they were honest about it and upfront about it, and you knew it was your team's objective going into the season. But at the same time, looking at some of these guys who are rookies, who are controllable, who are on small contracts, Edward Julian, Byron Buxton obviously is not, but Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Max Kepler, Carlos Santana, Matt Wallner, Ryan Jeffers, Alex Kirilloff. Now, to an average baseball fan, those are not all household names at this point. But Royce Lewis needs to be getting to that point, that's for sure. Matt Wallner, Edward Julian, don't sleep on these guys. Don't sleep on these guys. I mean, I like what I saw from them last year in the regular season and even in the postseason. Well, Royce Lewis, especially in the postseason. On the bench, some guys that could be interchangeable: Christian Vasquez, Kyle Farmer, Willie Castro, and Manuel Margot. The rotation, Sonny Gray definitely was a hit, but Pablo Lopez leading the way, Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, Chris Paddock, Anthony DeSclafani. Sonny Gray was a big part of this team and their success last year, I think. And shifting everybody down, or up one in the rotation, I mean, because Gray was your 1, Lopez your 2. They could have been interchangeable last year almost, but still, Joe Ryan moving up to the 2 from the 3 spot. Bailey Ober as your 3, Chris Paddock as your 4. Desclafani, which maybe he could find his way to 4 instead of 5, but still, it's a little shaky for me, this rotation. They need to add somebody. I mean, eventually throughout the season, I think they're gonna need to trade for some pitching, trade out of some of their prospect wealth and some of their outfield wealth, because I believe they have a lot of outfield prospects. So, rotation lineup I like though. Over under, I'm still undecided.
I'm gonna give little hot takes here. Number one, I think Royce Lewis finishes top 5 in American League MVP voting this season.
Ooh, wow.
Really hope I'm right on that. And number 2, I really think Pablo Lopez, top 5 finish in American League Cy Young Award this season.
That one I get behind. Yes.
Think he's going to build off that postseason, and he is now the clear number 1 now. Those are my 2 hot takes.
Yeah, Matt, I'm kind of with you on this. Lineup is not great, but in their standards, it's good. There's some pieces to like, and I think a lot of it relies on health. Carlos Correa still. I mean, listen, it's still Carlos Correa here. He's still a great player. Byron Buxton, I believe, has the ability to be top 10, top 15 player in this league. His potential is off the charts. And if he can just stay healthy.
Played more than 65 games.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is literally all we're asking out of him. Stay healthy, stay on the field, and the production will come with it. And I think him leading the charge with Correa and the rest of the guys following suit, I think that there's something to like there. And Melo, you hit it too. Pablo Lopez, man. I love what I see out of him. I think he can very well be an ace of a squad, which is exactly his role with the Twins. And under that, it's kind of shaky a little bit. I don't like Joe Ryan as a number 2. It's tough. It really is. However, the good thing is you don't need to win a lot of games to win this division. So for me, oh God, that's such a good number. I think they just miss it. I'm going under.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm going the under here. I think they just miss it though. I think this is 85-86 win team.
With the division you're playing in, you're going to benefit a little bit from that. Give me the over 87, 88. I don't know that they're a 90-win team, though. So
Absolutely not.
I couldn't get myself to the 87-88. Like, I don't know, man. That's tough. Ugh.
I'm with Matt. I think over just by 87, 88. And Matt brought up a great point just because of the division they're playing in.
yeah. Now this is where it could get interesting.
This is gonna be fun.
We've been pretty well in step with each other, in stride with each other on these predictions
This is where we
for
fall off the wagon.
where each team will finish in the division. But this one's going to be fun. This one's going to be interesting. I'm really not sure if I want to start, but I'll give you guys some time. Oh, Kyle's got his? Okay, go ahead.
All right. So do you guys want me to go from top to bottom, or are we doing bottom to top still?
Bottom to top.
I'm more of a top guy myself. But, no.
All right.
Hey!
All right. So I think this is where all of us are going to agree. I'm going White Sox at 5.
Yep.
Now, I might piss you guys off here a little bit, and I'm totally okay with it. I'm going the Guardians at number 4.
What?
Number 3, I'm going the Tigers. Number 2, I'm going Kansas City. And number 1, I'm going Minnesota. I have no faith in the Guardians this year. Could be wrong. And it's going to make or break this, but we'll see.
Kyle, we are exactly
No fucking.
in lockstep. We are exactly in lockstep
Wow.
here.
Wow.
I'm really high on the Kansas City Royals this season.
Yes. Oh man, I thought I was the only one.
I'm
Let's
really
go.
high on the Royals this season, and I don't see with the Guardians and Twins still win this division, and the Tigers are 2 or 3 seasons away.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love
We got the same.
it. That's nuts.
Wow. Now I'm gonna look like a hater. That's for sure.
Royals fourth
Um,
place.
Well, careful. We're not joking about that. White Sox, 5th place. That's an easy one. That bottom of the Royals lineup is still kind of ugly. And the rotation, you're paying some of these guys who didn't. I mean, sure, they performed for 1 year out in San Diego. But other than that, Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha are more closer to career 4.5 guys than the lower end of that. I'm just gonna guess. I maybe should probably check that before I go out claiming things like that. But yeah, Royals at 4. People are not gonna like this. Tigers at 3, Guardians at 2, and the Twins win the
Ooh.
division. Okay. Michael Wacha, 3.96 career ERA. And then Seth Lugo. Let me take a look at this. Seth Lugo, career 3.5 ERA. So right in the middle there. But yeah. I like the Guardians. I like their lineup and I like their pitching a lot this year. Don't trade away your guys halfway through the year. Resist the urge, Guardians. Get off to a good start.
There you go.
Exactly.
We'll be singing that Lord song all season. And we'll never be royal. Yes.
I think Melo needs to sing an album, record an album here.
Yes. Christmas special album coming this December. All your holiday hits.
There you go. MVP and Cy Young at the division here.
Oh, I got mine.
All right.
So.
MVP Bobby Witt Jr. Finally got the contract extension. I think he's settled in now. Gonna take another leap forward as one of the best players in the league. Cy Young, Pablo Lopez. Clear ace. And he needs to be if the Twins want to win this division.
Okay.
Mello, we are identical once again.
Let's go.
All right.
Somebody take J-Ram, please.
That's I'm going to, and it's not a shot at Bobby Witt Jr. At all because I think he's gonna have a great season. Actually, no, I can't do this because I predicted he was gonna win AL MVP or finish top 3. So no, give me Bobby Witt Jr. as my MVP. Okay. Now.
Oh, we're gonna get killed for that.
Cy Young, maybe. Do I want to go with a fun pick? Do I want to be different? I can't.
Chris
we can't all
Paddock.
have the same. No, not that different. Give
Dylan
me.
Cease.
It could be a sleeper pick, but I don't think he's going to finish the whole season in the Central.
Ooh.
Give me Tarek Skubal of the Tigers for my Cy Young. Sneaky. I think he's going to have a great season.
I like it.
J-Ram, shout out. Come on. You got to give him props here. He should be winning MVP. Should maybe be finishing second. We'll see. But
I love J-Ram. It's just that, we've seen it. It's like, I want to give it to somebody else.
fair enough.
I know
right.
what I'm going to get out of him this season.
Yeah. You just don't know what we're going to get out of Bobby Witt Jr. yet. We'll see.
I'm high on the Royals. I
Yes.
have to. I don't have a choice.
All right.
George Brett will be excited to attend Royals games again this season.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the AL Central here. tune in next week for the AL West. We round out our division predictions right before we head off to Florida for spring training. So yeah, check that out next week, and we'll be doing the draft tomorrow as well. AL Central.
Oh God.
AL Central draft.
Can't
Yeah,
even get
we're
it
all
out.
looking
That's
forward
how
to
bad
it.
it
No,
is.
I can't. We're all really looking forward to it. So make sure to check that out and let us know who won the draft as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.